Hi, Doug Franklin in the LeaderTrex office. I want to talk to you today about balanced leadership in youth ministry. I think a lot of times when I talk with new youth workers or younger youth workers, they really struggle with this concept of who do they lead, and they don't balance it out very well. See, I think there's three actual leadership components to youth ministry. One is you got to lead yourself. Well, what does that mean? Well, you've got to understand who you are and how you're gifted, and you got to stay within your strengths. When you do that, you lead yourself well. You don't mimic other leaders. You don't try to be like an Andy Stanley or a Doug Fields. You do what God has given you to do, and you do it with the strengths and the gifts that He's given you to do. And you're comfortable in your own skin. You're comfortable with who you are and how you lead. And you understand what things you do that you can do well with your strengths and what things you need to delegate to other people to have them help you with. And then you balance that with leading students. Leading students is what most youth workers think is how they lead. But they don't just lead, students. They lead themselves, they lead students, and we're going to talk about one other area in a minute. But leading students means you have integrity and character first that comes from Scripture. When you have integrity, when you really show character and a Christ-like image, then you're going to be able to lead students. So we're not just leading students, we're leading ourselves, we're leading students, and we're also leading up. We lead our volunteers, we lead parents, and we lead other members of the church staff. What I mean by leading up is that we lead people that are maybe older than us and have more experience. That takes humility. You've got to be humble in those situations. You can't just walk into a parent meeting and tell parents what to do. They know more about students than you do. You can't just walk into a church leadership meeting and tell the church what to do or not be willing to listen because you don't think they get it. You have to be humble enough to say, listen, I have things to learn from all of you, and I want to serve you and your students in a way that leads them to a deeper relationship with Christ. So you're not just leading students, you're leading yourself, you're leading students, and you're leading up. When you balance these three things in leadership, that's when you're going to be super effective as a youth worker. Don't just think it's leading students. Boy, I made that mistake a lot when I was first starting out in youth ministry. Understand yourself. Understand the best ways to lead students is to reflect Christ. And understand that to lead up, it takes humility. Thanks for listening.